Hi, I'm Christine Mahoney, here with another edition of Debt Happens. I'm talking with Steve Craig, the managing attorney and owner of Trident Debt Solutions. Steve, thanks for talking with me today.
Good afternoon, Christine.
Steve, can you tell me a little bit about how settling debt affects your credit?
First, I'm going to say that the debt settlement process involves halting payments to your creditors so that you can get their attention and we can start the debt negotiation process. This will have a negative impact on your credit rating in the short term. That said, once we begin to settle your debts, and typically that happens, say, 6 months down the road, your FICA score begins to rise. And the reason for that is that your debt-to-income ratio improves dramatically as we begin to settle the debts. Once you're debt-free, my clients tell me that it takes them about 18 months for their credit score to come back to where it was prior to beginning the program, assuming they had a good credit rating to begin with.
So if you're talking about a 2-year program to settle debt, it's actually 3.5 years of damaged credit?
Well, whether there's actual damage to your credit score depends on a number of factors.
What do you mean by that?
Well, many of my clients come in when their credit is shot anyway, to begin with. So for them, what we do, once we begin to settle debts, their credit rating begins to rise.
What about clients who come to you with already excellent credit?
Let me give you an example. The other day I spoke with a client who had been with us about 4 years ago. He came to us with $80,000 of credit card debt. We got him out of it for $44,000, and we wrapped that process up about 2 years ago. And he thanked me profusely for helping him get out of debt and for improving his credit. He told me, "Steve, I'm debt-free now. I'm out of debt. My credit score is great." He said, "Had I not hired you, I would be in much worse shape today." He said, "I can't imagine the shape I'd been in. I'd probably still be paying that $80,000 off. And frankly, I was building a house of cards that was going to collapse and devastate my credit sooner or later anyway."
Are there other factors that go into rebuilding credit as well?
Yeah, there are a few others I can think of. If you already have a mortgage or a car payment that you're going to be continuing to pay during the term of the debt settlement plan, that's going to be a positive, and your FICA score is going to bounce back that much more quickly. Also, if your credit was excellent right prior to filing, it's going to bounce back a little more quickly.
Is bankruptcy worse on your credit than a debt settlement?
There's a lot of misinformation about this, and as a bankruptcy attorney who's helped thousands of clients, I think I can give you a solid answer to this question. Bankruptcy is sometimes referred to as the 10-year mistake because the bankruptcy notation will be on your credit report for 10 years. Any court judgment would be. But people using that term are usually trying to sell you something, some alternative to bankruptcy, and they'll say, "Don't make the 10-year mistake." But what I've seen from my clients is that they get credit card offers literally in the mail before their bankruptcy discharge even happens. And you think, wow, that sounds crazy. But this is America. There's somebody out there who's going to say, "I'll lend to this person. This person is out of debt. I can see how much money they make. I know they can't file a bankruptcy again for 8 years. I'm going to lend you money." So it's not devastating to file a bankruptcy. It's not devastating on your credit report.
So filing bankruptcy doesn't actually devastate your credit?
No, it doesn't. I mean, there will be some things that are harder to do. For example, leasing a car or purchasing a car may be difficult. I think a client would be able to get credit cards without too much trouble, although they may be a little higher interest rate. They're able to purchase a home, although it may be 3 years after discharge, but it's not going to permanently devastate their credit file.
So the bottom line, what is actually worse for your credit? Having declared bankruptcy or settling your debts?
Well, this is open to debate, but in my experience, I would say that in the short term, meaning less than 3 years, I think they're probably about the same. In the medium and longer term, when you begin to build your credit after the debt settlement, I personally would rather have settled my debts because that way I don't have a BK notation on my credit report.
Makes good sense. All right, Steve Craig, managing attorney and owner of Trident Debt Solutions. Thanks for coming in today. I'm Christine Mahoney with this edition of Debt Happens. Thanks for watching.